All right, so you're back in your hometown to celebrate Thanksgiving with your family, and your mom asks you to go to the store to pick up the ingredients she needs for her to make the green bean casserole, which, by the way, is definitely a staple of any respectable Thanksgiving cuisine. You get to the grocery store, you're about to check out, and out of the corner of your eye, you see that high school classmate that you just don't want to talk to. What's the best way to handle this situation? I'm Barron Cruz, and this is the Charisma Matrix. So now you've done it. You found yourself in the dreaded situation that nobody wants to be in, but everyone fears when they go home to their hometown. You're stuck in a conversation with someone you don't necessarily want to be in it with. So what do? I'm going to teach you how to apply EBOB to both make yourself look good, to feel good, and also to minimize the interaction time, which is really what the goal of all of this is. So the first thing you want to do is component E, which is energy. So you're going to come with a lot of energy, you're going to project a lot of nice strong presence and show that you actually are happy to see them. Whether that's kind of not necessarily 100% true, so be it. Make yourself feel good around them, they'll feel it, it'll be a more upbeat interaction. If you approach and you give off for even a second that it's a bummer that you ran into them, hey Jason, how are you? Then no matter what you do from there, it's going to be a bummer interaction. Both people are going to feel bad. You're going to remember that person as, God, I remember why I didn't like them in high school. And it's just going to be bad on all fronts. So you're going to approach with energy. You're going to approach showing you're excited to see them. And what this is going to do is set the interaction off on the right foot. The second step is B, and that's broad. You're not going to ask specific questions like, hey, I saw that you have 2 kids. What grade are they in now? We want to stay away from that because we want to stay away from details in this conversation. That's just going to bog us down and try to string the conversation out. So a broad question you might ask is, hey Jason, good to see you, man. How you been? And then he's most likely going to keep it with a very broad answer, which is what we want. Say, hey, good, Barron, man, good to see you. How have you been? You say, good. Then you're going to go to step O, which is overly familiar. So we're going to ask a question that assumes more rapport than we probably have with someone who we haven't seen in 10 years. And this is going to allow us to feel like we covered a broader spectrum in the conversation than we actually did. So we're trying to keep this short, but we want to hit a whole range, a whole spectrum of conversational tactics to make it seem like we actually caught up a little bit. So you see your classmate, you start with E. No hesitation, good energy. Hey Jason, long time, man. How you been? He keeps it broad. He says, I'm very well, Barron. Good to see you. How are you? You say, good. Now you step to O. You say, what are you up to this weekend? You got any plans? He says, oh yeah, I'm just having some people over for a barbecue, probably watch a little football. You come in with the same kind of broad response. Oh, very cool. I'm just back to spend a little time with my family for Thanksgiving. And in that statement, you're going to end yours with a rapport breaking tone indicating the conversation is almost ending. I'm just back spending a little time with my family for Thanksgiving. That sets the stage. If they're socially astute, they'll pick up on that. If not, they still might get a little feel that the conversation is about to end. Then you're going to throw in a time constraint, a valid reason why the conversation, if they feel it's a little bit short, should be ending. So you're going to say, yeah, I just came home to spend a little time with my family for Thanksgiving. Actually, I got to get these rolls back to him right now, but very good catching up with you, man. Good to see you. And that is a way that you're going to be able to wrap this up with 2 kind of techniques that otherwise you may be drawn into staying in the conversation longer than you want. Those 2 techniques are the drop in tonality at the end of your statement and the time constraint. And what that's going to do is that's going to alleviate any of the concern of being rude, of backing out, because you're subconsciously going to set it up to them. You're going to set them up subconsciously by lowering that tonality. And you're also giving a valid reason that you can't hang out and talk the whole time. See, if you don't use these, you're going to find yourself either coming off as rude or just being held in a conversation that neither one of you want to be in. But by using this EBOB, and by the way, the last B is break, and that's what you're going to do after you give the time constraint, is you're able to have a good interaction as opposed to one that you don't really want to be in. Hey, Jason, good to see you, man. No, you know it's going to be short, so you're able to go in with some nice energy, make both of you feel good. Hey, maybe he was a little better guy in high school than I thought. And you're going to be able to know that you can wrap it up when you want it by using these 2 techniques of lowered tonality at the end of your statement and then a time constraint. So hopefully now you can feel a little bit better about going home for the next holiday to your hometown to celebrate with your family. If you enjoyed the content, feel free to subscribe and you'll get the first peek at all of my new videos. Till next time, I'm Barron Cruz.